Head USA. It's 4 o'clock.
From the WDAY News Center, this is Ty Schoenert, and it's time for your Flag News Update. It's election season, and to help you make those educated decisions, the Flag Family News team has put together your November 2022 election guide, which is a breakdown of all the local and statewide candidates you have an option to vote for. Head over to our website, am1100theflag.com, where you can click the Hot Links tab in the top right corner of your screen to find all the information you need to cast your vote on November 8th. A pair of power outages knocked out the lights for the Cass County Electric Cooperative customers in West Fargo and South Fargo yesterday. The co-op tells WDAY Radio that first, around 3:30 p.m., over 6,600 members lost power due to a malfunction at a substation in the city. Then, about 3 hours later, over 6,100 customers in South Fargo lost power due to an underground cable fault. All accounts were restored within a few hours of the initial outages. The federal government has approved North Dakota's plan to create a part of a national electric vehicle charging network. The state was among 34 that had their plans okayed by the federal government. The approval unlocks $900 million in federal funds for states to begin building that network. The money comes from President Biden's infrastructure law. And landline calls to 911 in western North Dakota are working again. The outage happened yesterday afternoon, where those calling from a landline experienced dead air. Crews found that the issue was caused by a fiber cut about 7 miles north of Bismarck. Officials say there was no delay in dispatching emergency responders. This is Ty Schoenert at The Flag and AM1100theflag.com. First with the news when you need to know.
Hi, Jeff from a Cutting Edge Gallery of Jewelry, and we're talking lab diamonds. At a Cutting Edge, you always get the best stone for your money, the biggest, whitest, brightest diamond, because that's what we guarantee. And in lab diamonds, we do the exact same thing. You can get a 1-carat lab diamond, D-color, the whitest a diamond can be, for under $2,000. And remember, you get the best cutting at a Cutting Edge. And we match that up with the largest selection of mountings in the upper Midwest. A Cutting Edge Jewelry.
Both sides are digging in. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Republican governors vowing to keep sending migrants to other states as the White House condemns the move, calling it a political stunt and deferring any legal decisions about it to the Justice Department.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says it will be up to the Justice Department to follow up on any potential legal action from migrants being transported to Washington, D.C. and Martha's Vineyard.
This is dangerous. They're putting children's lives at risk. They're putting families' lives at risk.
The administration says Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Florida Governor Ron Desantis are treating migrants like chattel and political pawns. The governors say the Biden administration is not preventing thousands of immigrants from illegally crossing the southern border every day, putting a strain on local and state resources. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Republican governors also accused the president of deadly policies, in part over the fentanyl that's also flowing across the southern border. Thousands more pills seized in Arizona.
5 pounds of fentanyl in brown bags that Border Patrol agents found strapped to the legs of a 15-year-old boy, a U.S. citizen who was on a shuttle going through a Border Patrol checkpoint in the Tucson, Arizona Border Patrol sector. More than 22,000 fentanyl pills in those brown bags. That 15-year-old boy obviously taken into custody. Then we'll move on to the next bus. This one at the CBP port of entry in Nogales, Arizona, where CBP agents there found 6,000 colored fentanyl pills, as well as 20,000 traditional blue fentanyl pills.
Fox's Bill Maluzhian says that bust also seized pounds of meth hidden in a car's gas tank. President Biden meeting today with loved ones of 2 Americans jailed in Russia, the wife of NBA star Brittany Griner and sister of former Marine Paul Whelan. America is listening to Fox News.
Miss, missed you this morning. Kim told me you weren't feeling well, so I'm just doing a self-care check.
Oh, thank you, friend.
How you doing?
Girl, listen, my energy was so low because I didn't eat breakfast when I got up, so I had to miss virtual yoga with y'all.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm doing much better now that I've eaten, so I'm back on track.
Great. In that case, let's get some steps in tonight. I'll come over and we can walk around the lake.
Sounds good. Appreciate you being in my business, too. Now, let me get in yours. Did you check your blood pressure today?
I did that and my squats, okay?
Okay.
High blood pressure is not going to be my friend if I can help it. See you at 6?
Let's get it. See you then.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Check in on one another. and be a part of a healthy blood pressure movement. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Mostly cloudy throughout this evening with light wind out of the west-northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Light wind continues tonight with partly to mostly cloudy conditions. An isolated shower will be possible, although unlikely. Temperatures will fall down to the upper 40s and will recover close to 70 on Saturday. Some scattered showers and thunder showers likely into the afternoon with a southeast wind 5 to 15. And sunshine returns on Sunday with temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Today's weather is brought to you by Summit Carbon Solutions. The ethanol industry is critical for the North Dakota economy and our farmers. Summit Carbon Solutions is opening new economic opportunities for ethanol producers and helping maintain a strong market for corn growers while generating millions of dollars in new property taxes to help local communities support our schools and hospitals. Visit summitcarbonsolutions.com to learn how this project is driving the future of agriculture in North Dakota.
Live from the PetroServe USA studio, it's the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free.
Happy Feel Good Friday. I want to know from you, what do you have planned for the big weekend? Tomorrow night, obviously, 10 o'clock, the NDSU Bison playing Arizona down in Tucson. Big game. We'll talk about that later in the show. Would love to know from you, your point of view. How do you feel about Ron DeSantis? I have just loved this story. But Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, sending illegal immigrants up to Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard. They can have some crackers and some Cabernet and enjoy themselves. And apparently Martha's already bringing in buses trying to ship them out of Martha's Vineyard. But also this weekend, I thought, you know what? Just to kind of get you in the mood for the game Saturday night, what if you could do this? What if you went out and had some mimosa and some drag? Does that sound pretty good on a Saturday morning? Saturday morning, you can go to a brunch, all ages, mimosa and drag. I got to share this story with you, but before I get to it, I do want to just first and foremost say thank you. Thank you for just using your voice. You know, I know right now, oftentimes you just feel like you can be pushing your head against a brick wall, and yet many of you are saying, look, enough is enough. We are going to use our voice to make a positive change, and many of you are doing that, and I'll give you an example here in just a moment. The number to call into the show is always 701-271-1100. Again, 701-271-1100. We're waiting for, hopefully, Cassie, if you're listening, call into the, do we have her? Okay, just let me know, guys, in Slack here in the future, so I am aware of that. But we're going to get to her in a moment, so I want to share this with you. This was out on Facebook. So Crave, many of you probably know Crave. I think it's out of West Acres, but the Crave American Kitchen and Sushi Bar had this posted up on Facebook, and tell people like you, and tell the mama bears said, whoa, wait a second. And there's more to the story. So it says this, hey, join us for Crave's first drag brunch. There you go. Mimosa and drag. Here in Fargo, tickets are $15 for adults, $10 for kids. This is an all ages event, by the way. So you can go have mimosa and drag and have your little 4-year-old sitting there hanging out with you. So come dressed up and show your costumes. We've got an amazing lineup of Minneapolis guests as well as some of your favorite local talent. Get there early. Space is limited and brunch is going to be delicious. Mimosa and drag. We need that hashtag floating around Twitter. Hashtag mimosa and drag. So this was started flying around. Again, thank you to you, our audience, to help us help you, reaching out and bringing this to our awareness. And then there's the mama bears. The mama bears are like, whoa. This has now gone too far. All ages, mimosa and drag? Come on. So Cassie Schmidt and others reached out to Crave and made a difference by using her beautiful voice. Cassie's on here now. And so Cassie, welcome to the show. Thank you for using your voice. You've been doing it now, fighting the mask, fighting the shots. You are just an absolute mama bear warrior. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, thank you for having me.
So walk us through. You see this, call up Crave. Tell us about the conversation.
Well, I mean, first, I think that people just need to get more comfortable stepping in when stuff like this comes out. I mean, when you see something and you know that it's wrong, and you know that it has children involved, it is absolutely our business, right? So we have to get more comfortable asserting our power, really, when it comes to our kids. So I called Crave and spoke with the manager over there, and people kind of tease about stuff like that. They're going to call you a Karen. It is what it is. Be respectful, just start those conversations out of respect and just say, you can say what I said. I said, hey, I heard about this event. I think that this is very inappropriate for children. And it's something that I'm really concerned about as a parent. Maybe if I want to go shopping and I believe it's actually a Sunday morning, maybe if I want to go shopping on a Sunday morning with my family, strolling around in West Acres Mall and see the show going on through your restaurant that's open to the public. That's another thing that I think people aren't really paying attention to, because it's gotten to the point where these things are so out in the open. It doesn't matter if you decide that it's okay to bring your kids or not. You're going to see it. You don't have a choice.
So I want to hear the conversation with the manager. If you're just joining us, Cassie Schmidt's with us. She is the, I guess you call it the executive director of Let Parents Decide. That many of you know the name because she's been out fighting against the mass and whatnot in the classrooms. And she found out about a all ages, I'm calling it mimosa and drag show. There's going to be a brunch at Crave. She calls up Crave and says, wait a second. This is just over the line. It sounds like you did it, in a very kind way. What did the manager have to say?
Well, she was very kind as well. And she did say that they had received enough phone calls that she had decided that it was going to be an 18 and over event. To which I kindly, again, reminded her that this is a public venue. You can see into it from the rest of the mall, and it's just not appropriate for children. It's not something that parents that are walking in are going to want to partake in. And so she should really, think about that as well. If they're going to still hold it, maybe they need to shutter the windows, because it's not something that, most families are going to be okay with their children viewing. I mean, these events, Chris, they're so sexual in nature. I mean, we just really cannot get around that. We were promised that the last event that was held at the Elks here last weekend was going to be very family friendly. The promoter made a special point to say that everything was ran through him and that everything was going to be, very PG. And we have seen videos from that show, and we know that was not the case. I mean, these people are scantily clad and gyrating and touching themselves in front of, all ages again. And this event specifically, promoted to all ages, also asked people to come in costume. It made the ticket prices cheaper for children, and it didn't say what kind of costumes they want to see your kids dressed in. And some of these performers, one of the performers on this Crave event, the name is MIA Easy Lay. I mean, you just really can't get rid of the sexual overtones in these shows. So again, they're just very inappropriate for children, and parents need to stand up against what we're going to allow. I would really honestly encourage people to call West Acres and ask them if this is something that they want to promote as a family-friendly shopping experience. Does West Acres want to promote, something that is so overtly inappropriate for kids? I mean, I would call into West Acres and ask them that. Their number is 282-2222.
Yeah, McCassie, you are on fire. 282-2222, 282-2222. That is the number to West Acres. I think you bring up a great point. Call them and say, hey, is this something that you're a proponent of? I think one of the things that really jumped out to me in this conversation, again, if you're just joining us, Cassie Schmidt talking about her making a difference. You, the mama bears, the papa bears, we can do this thing. We can turn this tide. You just got to speak up and let your voice be heard. Again, done in a friendly, cordial way. But what jumped out to me, Cassie, and I want to hear if you had a chance to ask this woman specifically, is you said they received so many phone calls, they decided to make a change. Did she tell you how many calls they made?
She didn't, no. And I had also asked if it was a local or a corporate decision, because that was another thing that another, brave mom that had called up had said that they had told her that it was a corporate decision. And she didn't really make that clear to me on the phone. So I guess I can't say, but it whether it's corporate or whether it's local, I mean, again, we have to protect our kids here in Fargo, and we have to take a stand as to what we're going to promote. Are we going to guard, or are we going to groom them?
So you just led me to my next question, and this might sound like a really ignorant question to you, but super producer Chris Larson brought this up yesterday, and I thought it was a really, really good question that I just haven't bluntly asked. And he was like, Chris, the one thing I don't get is why does this have to be done in front of little kids? Like, why do they have to go dance and do these shows in front of little kids? I asked another mama bear earlier today. She gave me a pretty curt answer. What would you say to that question?
I think they're grooming.
That's what she said.
There's no other way around it, Chris. I mean, again, as parents, we have to be really careful as to how we're promoting being kind and being tolerant of other people and their lifestyles and their decisions. There's a difference between kindness and, again, grooming. I mean, we have to draw the line as to what we're going to promote in our own households and in our own families, and how we're going to normalize these behaviors. And when you're pretending to be someone else to make yourself feel better, that seems like a pretty unhealthy coping mechanism to me. I don't see how that's a healthy lifestyle. And again, we need to draw our lines, as parents, and start really stepping out to protect our kids. It doesn't matter what others think of you. You have one purpose. Your purpose is protecting your children, period, because nobody's going to do it for you.
I've got a couple more minutes here. I've got one more question for you. And again, if you want to call West Acres, the number is 282-2222, 282-2222. Ruth Marie says, I will never go to West Acres again. So again, some strong opinions out there, but you can call them and share your point of view on having this all ages mimosa and drag at Crave. So this just came out. In fact, one of the mama bears I was just telling you, I want everybody to know October 15th, go to ndcan.org. They're putting on a gender theory program here, and it's going to be in Bismarck, but it's ndcan.org. They've got some incredible speakers there, but I want to share this with you because a person from that organization sent this to me. This just came out today, and I'm going to have to get a quick response to you, but only because you've been out there fighting for parents' rights. So the leading Transgender Health Association released its much-anticipated, apparently new guidelines. They've now decreased or eliminated any age to obtain puberty blockers and the cross-sex hormone surgeries. The new guidance also suggests that if parents do not affirm their child's newly chosen identity, the state may be enabled to intervene in order to assist with the child's transition. 60 seconds. What say you?
Stand up against this and start now, because that's exactly what we're looking at. That's exactly the future that we're looking at for our children if we don't take a stand and we don't get brave and get bold. And you can do it in a respectful manner. There's another very strong conservative mama. She likes to say, raise a respectful ruckus. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. I don't think that we have to get, wild about it, but there is definitely a need for people to use their voice, and I promise you are not alone. You will find more support than you know as soon as you start talking.
Cassie Schmidt, founder of Let Parents Decide That. Again, out on the front lines, just being a real mama bear warrior. So Cassie, thank you always for your time and for your fight.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. God bless.
Appreciate you too. God bless you. All right, we got a very special guest coming up next. One of the things that many, many people continue to talk about is when Dr. Jensen's on, they want to find out about it. Is just election integrity. What can we as a nation be doing? Look, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, what can we do to ensure that there's going to be actual election integrity from here on out? Our next guest may have a decision or an opportunity or a way to make this happen that no one's really talking about. And it's going to be totally public, totally transparent, and best of all, potentially pretty darn simple, no matter what side of the aisle that you're on. He's going to join us and explain coming up right after this. Number to call in, 701-271-1100.
Your farm and business depends on a reliable source for energy. PetroServe USA is the customer-owned co-op committed to being a stable source of fuel for your equipment and propane to dry your grain. We have the capacity to make sure you never run out of fuel and to keep prices stable. Dependability, competitive prices, and exemplary service. That's PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better. PetroServe USA. Call today.
They are detectives, investigators, school resource officers and deputies, state attorneys, jail chaplains, beat cops, and canine handlers. They are the honorees of the Luther Family Ford Salute to Law Enforcement. Everyone at Luther Family Ford says thank you to the men and women who protect and serve our community. They deserve our support, our encouragement, and our thanks. So thank you to all of you who protect and serve us. From Luther Family Ford and AM 1100 The Flag, WZFG.
If you love helping adults with developmental disabilities and want to work in a culture with benefits nobody else can match, apply today at Red River Human Services. Enjoy a $17 per hour starting wage, health insurance benefits at 30 hours per week, quarterly wage adjustments, hourly increases after 90 days, and a possible $750 signing bonus. Apply now for this amazing position at rrhsf.org or call 701-235-0971 and see how great it is to work at Red River Human Services.
Business owners, you know how important a high-quality website is for the success of your business, but how well is your current site performing? This is Jake from OnSharp, and I want to let you know about a new tool we created that will instantly scan your website and give you insight into your site's speed, security, and SEO. Run your company's free scan today at scan.onsharp.com, and you'll get a grade in each area, as well as actionable steps you can take to make your site faster, safer, and more effective. Again, that's scan.onsharp.com.
Do you love working on cars but don't love your current job? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We're a family-owned full-service auto repair shop looking to hire skilled automotive technicians. With our state-of-the-art shops, great work environment with competitive pay and benefits, you'll enjoy a great job with a bigger purpose and a lot of opportunity for advancement. Visit FixItForwardAutoCare.com to apply. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
You can always count on Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Always crisp, always easy drinking, always just right. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment since 1903. Welcome to the High Life. 2019 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
God, won't you help me to see? It's the prayer in an empty room. Little things we do when nobody's around. A hand reaching out to a heart in doubt. It's the smallest spark that can light the dark. That's how you change the world.
That is how you change the world. Perfect song from our new producer in the studio here, John. Thank you for that. And I bring that up because what a great pretext. We just got an email. You just heard Cassie Schmidt there saying, hey, call West Acres about this mimosa and drag show that was taking place at Crave. And so we just got an email saying, hey, Chris, just called West Acres. They said the event, again, because of you, the event has been canceled. The event has been canceled because you stood up and took action and said, hey, you know what? Not now. Let's not do this. So congratulations to those of you that stood up, let your voice be heard, and thank you for taking action and doing it in a very kind and cordial way and making a difference right here in our community. Speaking about making a difference, it's incredible when we have got Dr. Scott Jensen on, and obviously Scott Hennon's got Mike Lindell on a lot, but many people bring up the conversation. But you know what? We have these midterms coming up. We still haven't really figured out 2020. Like, let's do something to ensure that when I go to the polls, we've got election integrity that everybody can feel great about. Well, the CEO of Reaper Financial, Patrick Riley, may have a solution. He has teamed up with what's called the American Blockchain PAC. Again, the American Blockchain PAC, and he is joining us today. Patrick, always great to see you, my friend. So let me have it. I mean, everybody I talk to, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, clearly brings up election integrity. You think you might have a solution. What is it?
Yeah, absolutely, Chris, and thank you for having me on. And congratulations to the lady that preceded me on that outstanding social victory. So the Democrats and the Republicans, now let's just go down this line for a little second. And I try to avoid politics, but it's so hard in this day and age. So the Democrats want to stop voter suppression. And let's be honest, that does still happen. There is voter suppression in certain areas of the country, not just the South, but also the North in gerrymandered districts. It does happen, and it's a tragedy and a travesty against the American way of life. The Republicans want to reinforce election integrity, and I think there's some validity to their concerns, especially in the 2020 election. We saw with the Arizona audit in Maricopa County, the Dominion voting machines were actually wiped and bleached the day before the audit began, after the audit was ordered by the Senate. So basically what it comes down to is you have these machines out there that are each independently counting votes based off of paper ballots, and it's all connected to the internet, despite them saying it's not. And then it can all be manipulated in many different ways, and you don't actually know who voted, when they voted. You've got counties where 8,000 people were all born in 1918 in the single county, all registered to vote in 2020. So just so many intrinsic problems. And this isn't just a left or a right issue. It's an America issue. We do not have a secure election. We don't have a reliable election. And even if we did, we don't have a populace of Americans that believe we have a reliable election or that trust the system. And that in itself is a huge problem. It's really a tragedy that Americans don't believe in their own government at this point. And I don't think that's a stretch at all. I'm sure more than 80% would probably agree with me. So whether the Democrats know it or the Republicans know it, what they're both really saying and what they're both really asking for is blockchain voting. So with blockchain, and what a blockchain essentially is you have 100 computers, 1,000 computers, 100,000 computers, whatever it is, distributed in a ledger across the globe. And all of these computers record the same data at the same time, so that if any one of them were to change that data, it would fall out of the network because it is now corrupted and it doesn't agree. And that's basically what blockchain is. It's what Bitcoin is. It's what we're now able to transfer $3 trillion worth of value over this network within the last couple of years. And when the global market cap of cryptocurrency hit $3 trillion. So there's a lot of trust in this system, but more importantly, it's completely transparent. So in our company, we do use blockchain voting mechanisms to vote on which other cryptocurrencies they want us to go out there and buy and dispose of permanently. And that's something that we do for a supply and demand and financial service aspect. But we want to integrate that into government so that we can restore faith in the government. And so to do that, we've partnered up with the American Blockchain PAC, ran by Adele Nazarian and Todd White out of Washington, D.C. And on September 10th, we were able to raise about $17,800 for the American Blockchain PAC. And we're doing another auction actually in about 30 minutes on their behalf. First time ever in American history that a blockchain PAC has been raising money using NFT auctions. And if you don't know what an NFT is, it's basically a image that has been put on that blockchain. So there's only a one of one of that image, and it becomes a collectible piece of art. Just like you can have a copy of the Mona Lisa, but it doesn't mean you own the Mona Lisa. You can have a copy of an NFT, but you don't necessarily own that NFT unless you buy it. So it's a very cool way of fundraising, and we want to get the American Blockchain PAC support and we want their supported and endorsed candidates. They have a list out now, including about 15 politicians. We want to get behind them and help them push for blockchain voting so that we can restore America's faith in its elections.
So walk us through again, if you're just joining us, Patrick Riley, CEO of Reaper Financial. You can always find out more at reaperfinancial.io. Again, reaperfinancial.io. But walk us through some of the semantics of this, Patrick, because I think people hear blockchain and a lot of us don't quite fully understand or appreciate that. You said computers all over the world, and I think many people go ding, 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 Dominion, right? Because those machines are from different places. And so I'm about to vote via blockchain voting. How do I do it, and why should I trust it?
So here's what you can do with blockchain voting. You can actually put that on a cell phone. So every single person with a smartphone who has a blockchain identification, and that can store whether they're an ex-con, whether they're a illegal immigrant, or whether they're a legitimate voter in that state. It can also say whether or not they're voting in the correct district or not. And with that data on the phone in their ID, they're able to go in and cast their vote. So no more mail-in ballots, no more paper ballots, no more forged signatures, just a single blockchain vote that cannot be corrupted being sent off to a computer. And why you can trust that is because with a blockchain, anyone can run a node. So if anyone can run a node, that means that anybody who has even the slightest doubt about the integrity of that election, they can set up a node themselves, and they can see every bit of data that comes and goes from that. For about $1,000 or $2,000, they'd be able to run a node on their computer and view and record every single bit of it.
So let me ask you this. You and I talked briefly today, and I'm just thinking about this now, but remember the days when they would have cameras in Chicago, and people would be like, hey, I got my Obama phone. I mean, so what if people went and bought 10 different phones for themselves? Now I've got this app on 10 different phones, and I can go vote 10 times.
So they still wouldn't be able to get 10 different IDs. So the blockchain ID is a separate thing from the voting itself, but the blockchain ID can be either a biometric NFT ID, in which they're able to basically encode your iris, your facial recognition, and your fingerprint into a recognized code that creates your ID, and then there's only one of you, no one else can copy it. Or they can do a self-sovereign ID. And with those IDs, there can be need to know, there can be all kinds of cost-saving implements, such as putting your driver's license, your birth certificate, the deed to your house, your marriage certificate. All of those things can get wrapped in and attached to that biometric ID or that self-sovereign ID in a way that you actually have control. So instead of walking into a hospital and they have to pull up your health records from some other state because you're visiting family, you'd actually have all of that attached to your biometric ID, and all they have to do is look up your ID and get your permission to access your health records.
Fascinating. I think I've got about 10 seconds left. Patrick, if people want to reach out to you and get more information or just have a conversation, how do they go about doing that?
Yep. So I encourage everyone, before you even check me out at reaper.financial, please go to the American Blockchain Pack.org and check them out, see what they're about, donate if you're willing. We want politicians to be all about transparency, and there are no lies on the blockchain.
Love it. AmericanBlockchainPack.org. Again, AmericanBlockchainPack.org. Patrick, thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, stay with us. We go back. It's Feel Good Friday coming up right after this.
Mostly cloudy throughout this evening with light wind out of the west-northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Light wind continues tonight with partly to mostly cloudy conditions. An isolated shower will be possible, although unlikely. Temperatures will fall down to the upper 40s and will recover close to 70 on Saturday. Some scattered showers and thunder showers likely into the afternoon with a southeast wind 5 to 15. And sunshine returns on Sunday with temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
The fertile soil and wide open skies make our corner of Minnesota unique. But our people make it truly special. We're hardworking folks doing our best to raise a family, grow a business, or support our community. And Dan Bomer is one of us. He's a lifelong resident of the Red River Valley, a career veteran of the Army and National Guard, and 2 of his sons have served in uniform. Dan understands skyrocketing costs are hurting us. Whether buying groceries, gas, or school supplies, we're feeling the squeeze of soaring prices. Dan Bomer will stand up to the liberal metro politicians and fight to beat rising costs. By holding government accountable, cutting taxes, and growing our local economy, Dan Bomer is one of us. That's why Dan Bomer is fighting for our families. Learn more at stateofgreatmn.org. Prepared and paid for by the Coalition of Minnesota Businesses.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the North Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the North Dakota Broadcasters Association at this station.
The reviews are in. My coffee is a big hit. People absolutely love it. One of our listeners said, Scott, I've sampled a lot of coffee, but this one's different. It's rich, but also very smooth, low acidity. The finish is clean, and it has a pleasant aftertaste. Try some for yourself today. Go to mystore.com. Use the promo code Scott for up to 25% off. Your choices include whole bean, ground, coffee pods, light roast, medium roast, dark roast, and a decaf. Again, in coffee pods, ground, or whole bean, your choice. And guess what? It's roasted and packed right here in the USA. It's guaranteed, like all the products at MyPillow. Mike Lindell invites you to try his new product, My Coffee, by going to mystore.com. Mystore.com. Use the promo code Scott or call this number, 800-506-9028. 800-506-9028 or mystore.com, promo code Scott for the best coffee you've ever had, bar none.
Need an escape? No, not a vacation. An escape from your basement. Here at Precision Concrete Cutters, we specialize in egress window installation and replacement. So not only do we provide you an escape from your basement, but we provide sunlight into that dark, dreary space to make you feel like you're on vacation. Okay, maybe not, but you will relax knowing that you do have a safe way out.
For more information on egress windows, go to pccnd.com. That's pccnd.com.
Without you, it's Friday. I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't even start. It's Friday. I'm in love.
Friday, I'm in love because it's a feel-good Friday. Thanks to our friends over at Dakota Medical Foundation and, of course, Giving Hearts Day as well. As you know, here on a Feel-Good Friday, it's the end of the week. We're all kind of tired of all the news that's coming out. So we thought, gosh, you know what on a Friday, we just talk about something good. And that is organizations that are making a positive impact in our community. And one of those organizations, many of you know, we love this organization, Hope Inc. They do a lot of stuff with young people and adults as well, but just with mobility challenges to get them out there and be competitive. So the executive director is with us today, Bill Gromish. Always great to see you, my friend. And welcome to a Feel Good Friday.
Well, hello, Chris. Nice to be here.
It's great to see you. So let's just start with like the mission of Hope Inc. And one thing I always like to ask organizations like yours is just, what was the impetus behind, like, what was the problem that you're trying to solve in the community?
Well, you know, our mission is to provide sporting and recreational opportunities for folks with mobility challenges. The majority are in wheelchairs. And in 2006, again, we had a son with spina bifida. He was born paralyzed from the waist down. And as he started growing, got to be about 4 or 5, you know, we noticed that he was being left behind. You know, the other kids are out there playing and doing things and having football on Saturdays and going to basketball. And, you know, kids like my son and others with physical impairment, they're left out. And without that, where are they going to, where are they going to learn their social skills? And, Chris, you were an athlete growing up. And when I was growing up, boy, I looked forward to that. That's what our life evolved around, growing up with sports. And that, made us who we are, really.
Saved my life. I mean, if I would have been in sports, who knows what kind of trouble I would have gotten into.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So then, what kind of, I guess, what's the attendance for you, if you will, and how many students are you working with? And
Well, in 2006, we started out with five kids. We're up to now about 200 and 210.
Wow.
And they come from a long ways away. The majority are here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, but they come from as far as Cavalier and Langdon and Monaga and Jamestown, Fergus Falls. The program is very important to them. And for a lot of these folks, kids and adults, it's life-changing. It really is. It's a sense of belonging. Folks with mobility challenges, a lot of times they're isolated. They maybe don't have a lot of social skills. They don't have friends, and they experience a lot of anxiety and depression. And what our program does, it gets them out. It gets them to meet the people. We have a natural support system, and like I said, it's very important to these folks, and they're great folks.
God bless you for doing this. You had five.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, in 1 year. Now you're at 250 to 70. You just told me you have 4 hockey sled teams.
Yeah, we just had our sled hockey meeting last night, and we'll have 2 youth teams and 2 adult teams this year, and so we're looking forward to that. That's a season that never ends for us. We start here in October, and it goes into June. So our season lasts forever.
It's fascinating to talk to you because I think so many of us, I hate to say this, but I'm sure I do. You just sort of take it for granted. I stand up, walk around, jog, go do what I do. So talk about some stories where you've had maybe some young people, even adults, that were, like you said, they were maybe alone or depressed and anxiety. They find your organization, and now you've just transformed them.
Well, we have 210 stories. Everybody has their own story. Just a couple examples, kids that have been in the news lately. This Kaylee gal from Crookston, the one that had that accident where she was drug underneath the semi and she lost her leg. She's a part of Hope Inc. now. We reached out and she's playing softball with us. She's going to be in the fashion show, and we plan on incorporating her into a lot of the other things we do. Nobody ever plans on having a child with a disability, and nobody ever plans on them, as an adult ending up in a wheelchair. Like I said, everyone has their own story. A young man in Grand Forks, 15-year-old boy, when he was 9 years old, he was sledding. He was typical. All of a sudden, he hit his head on a tree, and he's incomplete paraplegic. He's now playing sled hockey and baseball. And with that, he may not be able to hold the sticks or hold the bat. He can grip it slightly, but we adapt it. In the softball, he uses a fish net at first base, and it sounds silly, but it's remarkable. He does great. We have a gentleman who was a great athlete. He was a great goalie in high school, one of the best in the state. He went to spring break. He was partying, and his story is he wanted to go to bed, but his buddies pulled him back out there to, keep going. All of a sudden, over the balcony he went, and his life has changed forever. He is, he's been a big part of our program now. And, he states that it's changed his life. It makes it worth living. A gentleman, Paralympic bronze medalist in our program. He was in a car accident. He hit a tree. He got stuck in there. The car started on fire. It burned his legs off. Just a horrific story. But he changed himself. He dedicated himself to the sports. And again, bronze medal in the 400 wheelchair race. Just a great gentleman.
Beautiful what you do, because I'm sure when you lose your legs or go through that, you lose maybe the vision for your life, and now you're giving these people hope again and a reason to go and be part of a community.
And we give parents hope. Can you imagine as a parent, you have a child and they're in a wheelchair, and you say, where's this going to end? There's so much fear for a parent and anxiety, and these siblings that, as a parent, you want one thing for your child. You want your child to be happy. And in order for your child to be happy, they have to be involved. They have to have the self-confidence. They have to have friendships, relationships. Without that, things don't go well. Like I said, we see so much anxiety and depression. We get folks in our program and we hear a lot of stories of alcoholism and drug abuse. Again, they're sitting there, they're looking for relief, they're looking for an outlet, and that's where they turn to. We're hopefully taking the place with that. We still see it, and we're kind of therapists every day too, but we're here to support them, and kids and parents and the adults, they support each other. And another piece of it, Chris, is these young kids, you know, when little Johnny has cerebral palsy and he's 4 years old, and mom and dad, again, they don't know what's going on, but they see Mr. Smith or Tom Smith, who's 35 years old, and he's out in the community and he has a job. That gives them hope. That helps them, give them direction to say, you know what, things can be okay.
You are an outstanding ambassador. We got a couple minutes left here, so I want to give you a chance to talk about Giving Hearts Day. Raise a lot of money, so help people understand, hey, if I were to donate today to you guys, how do you use that money from Giving Hearts Day to make an impact and a difference in our community?
Giving Hearts Day is huge for us, like for all nonprofits. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and we count on that for a few different things. Number one, we use it to keep our costs low. Again, it costs, we charge $10 a week for a child to participate. If they don't have any cash, we give scholarships, so it's free. And again, we utilize that as much as we can. That's what it's there for. Hope Incorporated, at this point, we don't have a building, we don't have a facility. So in order for us to do our activities, we rent facilities. Like the ice that we have, we're paying between $15,000 and $20,000. So we need funds for that. When we do our fashion show, we're renting a facility. When we have an indoor track meet, we're paying $500 for that. For the equipment that we have, if we're not able to get grants for that, or if it's not donated, we're paying for it. And repairs, we're paying for those. There's a lot of expenditures that go along with the operating costs.
But you can't put a price on someone who's gone through a disability and you're putting a smile on their face, giving them hope. I mean, it's priceless. And I kind of sounds like an ad, but it's true. So for people that are like going, wow, I mean, Bill's a phenomenal ambassador. I get what he's doing. How can they support your organization?
Well, there's a few things. Number one, if they know someone out there with a mobility challenge, point them our way, or better yet, take them by the hand and bring them. Parents are nervous to bring their kids. Adults with mobility challenges, they're nervous to come and see us. So bring them. Once we get them there, we wrap around them, we love on them, and they'll be coming back after that. Financially, again, we're always looking for donors, like so many others. It's very important for us. Giving Hearts Day, like I said, is huge. We're having a fashion show coming up October 22nd, where each contestant, and everybody gets $100 to go out and buy an outfit, and they're spotlighted and they shine on stage. We're looking for a major sponsor there. Volunteers, we're always looking for volunteers. You know, if you contact us and if you want to help, we'll find a way for you to help us.
What's the website?
Just go to hopeinc.org and put in adaptive sports, and then you'll find us.
It's right there. Go to hopeinc.org and hopeinc.org. They got a great website, lays it out really, really well. Some really great, just powerful videos there. And Bill, thank you for everything you're doing.
Well,
congratulations, man. It's really, really impressive. You're just an outstanding ambassador. It's great to see you.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. Again, hopeinc.org, hopeinc.org. Want to say thank you to Dakota Medical Foundation. And of course, Giving Hearts Day. We all know Giving Hearts Day, right? I mean, we give millions and millions of dollars here in this community for Giving Hearts Day because it's great. But then what's so nice about Feel Good Friday is you get a chance to hear people like Bill and go, okay, so this is where the money's going. This is how it's making a difference in our community. Fantastic. Stick around. We come back. We're going to get some of your points of view, maybe even talk a little Bison down in Arizona taking on the Wildcats. Number to call in, 701-271-1100.
As a business owner or operator, have you ever wondered how much money your unreliable IT network's downtime is costing you? Do you wish you had an IT professional but think you can't afford one? With managed IT services from 702 Communications, you get an entire team of IT professionals to handle all of your business IT needs, and all for much less than you think. Right now, for a limited time, 702 Communications is offering your first month of managed services free with a promo code THEFLAG. Call 702 Communications today at 218-284-5702. And our managed service team will help you find a technology solution that fits your needs. and put your mind at ease. For a limited time, call 702 Communications today at 218-284-5702 or go to 702com.com and get your first month of managed services free with promo code THEFLAG.
Have you been looking for a golf cart for the lake, the cabin, or the course? Now is the time. The largest selection of club car onwards within 150 miles are available now at All Season Motorsports. 0% financing. That's 0% financing for up to 48 months on 2022 and 23 club car onwards. 2023 lifteds not included. All inventory must go, so hurry in and take advantage. The largest selection of club cars. And at 0% financing. All Season Motorsports off I-94 and Cheyenne Street, West Fargo. Hurry before they're gone. Some big news. Tucked away in Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act was over $80 billion for the IRS to hire 87,000 new employees. That means thousands of new IRS agents, almost doubling the size of the IRS. Bloomberg reports this means more IRS audits on taxpayers like you. All this week, Rob Schmidt on Newsmax takes on this new IRS army and the dangers to you, your money, and your freedom. Watch Rob Schmidt every night, 6 p.m. Central on Newsmax. He's not afraid to take on big government. Rob exposes their power grab and shows you how to fight back. I watch Newsmax. You should too. Tune in to Newsmax tonight for Rob Schmidt, plus Greta Van Susteren, Eric Bolling, and a lot more on America's trusted cable news channel. Find Newsmax on all major cable systems. If your system doesn't carry it, call them. Tell them you want Newsmax. And watch Rob Schmidt tonight. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Discovering the perfect paint for your home has never been easier with Zinsser Smart Coat from Menards. Plan smart with interactive tools at smartcoat.com. Buy smart in-store or online. And paint smart with an advanced paint and primer in one. Right now, get a gallon of interior flat paint for only $26.68 after 11% off. Good through September 18th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Some things look better, baby. Just passing through.
Gotta love this. Heading into our Feel Good Friday, last segment, little Elton John, Dua Lipa. Wow, thank you very much for that. Happy Feel Good Friday. Again, thank you so much to the Dakota Medical Foundation and Giving Hearts Day for bringing in organizations like Hope Inc., hopeinc.org if you want to find out more there. And one of the things we want to remind you as we head into the weekend, there are people out there right now struggling with just different mental health challenges. Might be anxiety, depression. Maybe you got long COVID. Like I know I've had this brain fog thing now and then every once in a while. So want to invite you, if you're dealing with something where you just don't feel like yourself lately, it's free, which is beautiful. It's a free consultation. You basically lay down for 60 minutes. They put these things in your ears. They play some, pretty sounds, and it's simple. It's Siricet of Fargo. The number to call in, 701-566-5231. Again, 701-566-5231. That is Siricet of Fargo. All right, let's get to some of your feedback that's been coming in. If you want to call into the show, the number to do so, 701-271-1100. There is so much to talk about. I was really wanted to... Every time I think about it, as you can tell, I just laugh. I really wanted to get into this whole Florida, illegal immigrants going to Martha's Vineyard thing. And we always want to, defer to keeping things local first. But that story is just fantastic. And so we started the show with what I'm dubbing as Mimosa and Drag. Mimosa and Drag. There was a local business. We're not going to name them now because it's since been canceled because of you. Thank you very much. Where they were going to do an all, I don't even, what goes through somebody's mind that's like, hey, this is a great marketing idea. Let's do an all ages mimosa and drag brunch. Like, what? Anyways, that was a real thing until many of you, the mama bears and the papa bears, said, I don't think so. I don't think we want to have that here in our community. So thanks to you, it has since been canceled. And now we're getting some emails and some comments on our live stream, thanks to Siricet of Fargo. One of them came in, and I think it's brilliant. I think it is brilliant. When you really understand the attack of the enemy on the institution of marriage right now, I think this idea is brilliant. For those of you that are married, you know the enemy tries to attack the institution of marriage. It is not an easy thing to do well and successfully. I failed at mine, the first one at least. So somebody emailed in and said this. They go, "Hey, Chris, I think we need to answer the recent drag shows by organizing an event that promotes and celebrates heterosexual marriage. Let's get a few couples who've been married 50, 25, 1 year and have them talk about their life experiences. That would be great." And I think that is a fantastic idea. We or somebody should organize an event since they can have these drag shows everywhere. We'll do an event, very special event, do kind of a nice, black coat event where we go out and we actually celebrate heterosexual marriage. Would love to know your point of view on that. Some comments that have been coming in on our live stream as well. Daniel says this, "Hey, I saw a picture of a little girl with a trans. The poor little girl looked scared to death." You've seen some of those pictures. It's really bizarre. Like you see them, handing out the dollar bills and whatnot. And if you're perceptive at all, right, you can just tell like they've been coaxed into it, talked into it. You can see they feel awkward, but they're kind of like, "Hey, someone's telling me to do this, so I'm going to go and stand up and do it." And it's one of those visuals that you look at and it's painful, right? Like you don't know exactly what's going on. You're like, that just feels, something just doesn't feel right. Another comment that came in, Walking Roscoe says, "Hey, just get a few of the real congregations out there, gather up and pray, pray, pray throughout the whole time. It's a public venue." Could have done that. Also, we talked about this situation with the immigrants. The left are getting a dose of the human beings they use for political gains and now have to put their money where their polo clubs are at. It is, if you didn't get a chance, and we're not going to get to it today, but if you did not get a chance to read the letter from California Governor Gavin Newsom about what DeSantis is doing, it's so clear that Gavin and DeSantis are trying to, position themselves for 2024. But just the way he writes it, you're like, come on, Gavin. I mean, you do realize these people have already broken laws federally just to try and get here. But for some reason, they don't seem to think the federal laws mean anything. We've got about a minute or so left here on the show, and just want to share with you a little bit about tomorrow night. There is a big, big, big football game, which many people thought, I think, hey, Bison are going to go down to Arizona. They're just going to roll. But Arizona's looked okay so far this year. I don't know exactly what their record is, but I know they had a W recently and looked pretty good. And so I went out. I just wanted to take a peek at, what are people seeing for the game? What are some of the predictions out there? What's interesting about this game for you and I is, we're so used to having these games kick off around, 2:30, something like that. This game doesn't kick off until 10 p.m. our time tomorrow night. So if you know anything about football players, like we love it when things are just the same every single week. Like we're not big on change. Like we want the kickoffs to be the same. We want the times to be the same, practice. So 10 p.m. our time is when kickoff is for these guys. And there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here consider themselves college football experts that made predictions on the game. I hate to say it, but all of them have got Arizona winning 27-24, 23-20, 31-17. But we always know how the Bison play away. They're tough. They are tough. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow night. Thanks so much for joining us here on a Feel Good Friday. I love you. This is the Chris Berg Show. Have an amazing and blessed weekend.